On this episode of Star Trek Universe, Pelia reminding us she's old has gotten stale, while Kirk becomes the Sehlat who ate his tail. We're talking Strange New Worlds 306, the Sehlat who ate his tail, right after these words from mystery scavengers who somehow turn out to be us.
Us? Me and you?
I think so, man.
Crazy. We are the best of them.
We're really not.
Welcome to Star Trek Universe, the podcast where you get to listen in on two lifelong friends sit and chat about Star Trek. My name's Matthew Carroll.
I'm David C. Robertson.
Yeah, man. How you doing today?
I'm rough, man.
Yeah, you seemed a little surlier than normal.
Oh, I don't know about surly. I'm just damn worn out.
Yeah. That's what I just throw out surly, but it could be any negative, just sort of grumpy. Something's up. You don't seem your normal chipper self.
Yeah, chipper. That's the word.
I'm saying, man. You've gone from chipper to surly on your spectrum.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we have a new episode, the Sehlat that ate its tail. Okay, what are your thoughts? Just top line, what do you think?
It was not good to me.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
It wasn't, egregious. It was just boring to me.
Okay. Interesting. I thought it was another banger. I really liked this episode. It just, it did the Star Trek thing. It did these last two episodes, unlike what I feel like the rest of the season has been doing, these sorts of weird episodes, the last two episodes have done Star Trek. And it feels like, moving the story forward, Kirk, actually building Kirk's character, him and dealing with an ethical situation, learning a lesson, all that stuff is happening for Kirk, while, you're getting this obvious thing of, as soon as La'an transported out, I was like, oh, I see what they're doing here. They're going to leave only, they're going to immediately leave only the original series crew on the ship by themselves so they can have their first adventure just them. I thought they were going to leave the other crew out of it completely. I thought we were just going to get an episode of the original series crew, but then they did the back and forth thing.
Them leaving the original series crew. It's funny that they gave the explanation for what the Sehlat ate its tail meant is the dog that caught the car, because I was thinking the snake that ate its tail
exactly
the entire time.
Me too. And when I saw the title, that's what I thought, the snake that ate its tail. So I was thinking okay, but then the thing is, it kind of is the snake that ate its tail, right? It's that both in a meta context with the show eating its own tail, going back to the original series crew, but it's also the eventual resolution of the episode, it being the humans have gone out into space and now they're consuming themselves. They've gone around to being the destroyer of worlds that they may have once feared or whatever. Yeah,
but also their desperation and their greed, they want more and more and more. Well, they finally got more, and it destroyed them. Yeah. I mean, it was a nice title and a nice. I liked that. I was bored most of the time. Okay. That was all it was.
I was not. I felt really engaged. I was curious about the mystery of who these guys were, because clearly they have this humongous ship of sorts, and I was like, what could this be? Is this a race we've never met, or are these big suits going to reveal some race is this the Ferengi? Is this, who could it be that's out just consuming? And I mean, okay, it was a little the one part, and I am down for the allegory of it all, but it talking about the constant consumption and then immediately just showing an American flag on that thing. I was like, oh,
yeah,
ouch.
When it became obvious they weren't going to show who they were for, in the episode for a while, I was like, oh, it's us. It's some ancient human bullshit. And I was so disappointed when it was, because it was it's echoes of V'ger. Star Trek has done this so many times.
Yeah, for sure. It is not in the original series too, in all the series, they've done things like this, where a human colony or a human spacefaring group of some sort comes around and they have changed to the point of unrecognition, and then it's realized. But I think it's a powerful story. You know what I mean?
Also Reavers.
Yeah,
Firefly.
of course, Firefly. I think it is a powerful story, and I think that like I liked that twist because I did not see it coming. It's one twist of many they could have used for this. Because I'm seeing these guys in the big suits, and I'm like, that could be literally any Star Trek race that could fit in that suit, which is most of them. And I was like, so this could be anything. And we saw all these different. Apparently, there's a TARDIS in there. You sent me a screenshot. There's a TARDIS inside of the Astrovore.
That was exciting for me.
Yeah, me too. I love that. That's a great nod. And then they're like, there are ancient ships in here, and then the TARDIS being one of them is really great, really wonderful.
I want to see a Doctor Who episode from the TARDIS's perspective. I want to see the Doctor running around trying to figure out how to get out, and then all of a sudden the Star Trek guys save the day, and he's like, "Oh, well, all right."
Me too. I would love to see that. And then he's I could totally see it, and it'd be from his perspective. It's like you Earthlings, you leave Earth, and all you become is consumption machines. Why do you always do this? But then he meets the Federation, and it's like the opposite side of that coin, and then it's like that darkness moment for Doctor Who, and then it turns to hope at the end when he realizes that there is hope for humanity. I could totally see that being a Doctor Who episode.
Yeah, I think in my version of it, like, he would have just a small glimmer of hope because of what the Federation becomes, but he also acknowledges the fact that even those optimistic humans kind of just murdered the shit out of 7,000 people.
Yeah, no, and that's the conversation we get in this episode, which is amazing because I think of Kirk as a pretty egalitarian, non-human centric character. Like I think, and maybe that's a little bit of whitewashing his character, but like I think of him as someone who looks across at an alien race of some sort and thinks about it from their perspective, and he does a good job of being able to see them as closer to himself than otherwise. Even when he's facing gods or whatever, he realizes that they often have a motivation that he can tap into, and like, so him learning that lesson that these are just monsters, they're eating it up, and then like, oh, these are humans. These are what humans can become, and if I'm not careful, I could become this too. And I thought that was really cool, and I think it was a little heavy-handed. Like, I could see people not liking that final scene between him and Pike because they're just literally having an ethical discussion. But that's the shit I love. So I
like that.
I'm not complaining ever about that. Like, I thought almost every line they said in that whole little sequence was powerful,
Yeah, no, I liked that at the end, between the two of them. And I did like the fact that that at least in the writing, they were tackling both sides or multiple facets of Kirk's character from the original series. It's like, yes, he's easily bored. Yes, he's going to disagree with most command decisions that aren't his. Yes, he's going to wrestle with it. And this is also an interesting perspective because this is Kirk, at least for a little while, without Spock and McCoy. So it's like, yes, this is his first time really in this situation, but like, you can see how he's got to wrestle with things and how pertinent the Spock and McCoy characters are to helping him decide a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I really was expecting it to go more poorly when Spock said maybe a more logical mind, a less emotional mind would be better to go speak to him. And I was like, this is going to go terribly, but it didn't actually. It was a fine conversation, but like, I really thought it was going to go just like Kirk be the, you green-blooded bastard.
Part of me was like a little disappointed that he talked to Spock and then came out and had like the entire plan.
Yeah. I see that. I liked it because that's Kirk. That is the third way thinking or whatever, which I think there's different versions of what that is. So I know there's like there's some sort of weird like third way thinking kind of like that is problematic. I don't know, but I really like the Kirk version of that, where like you're given two options, and this is a lot of the original series. You're given two options, they both are terrible, and you have to think of some novel third option that wins everything. And that is, he hasn't he never learned the Kobayashi Maru, and he is just always striving to find that third way that gets them out of everything.
Yeah. I am still, of course, especially after seeing his previous appearance this season, man, because now I know he can do shades of like original series Kirk, and now he's back to like being Strange New Worlds Kirk, and I'm like, I am just not feeling him. He's just such an insurance salesman. I just don't feel him as the character still.
Oh man,
and that's kind of weighing on me.
Interesting. Yeah, I liked it. It didn't bother me. Like, I don't know that I look at him and, yeah, I guess I buy him as the character. So I don't have that like uncanny Kirk Valley or whatever, unkirky Valley.
And I'm starting to see the age on him as well, and that's pulling me out because he's even talking about in this episode being the youngest captain in the fleet, and I'm like, dude, you're like 50.
Oh, is he that old?
I think he's like 47.
Huh.
But he looks it too, to me.
That is interesting. Like, they would cast him
I'm just not
that old to be young Kirk. That's weird.
Oh, he's 43. I'm still not buying it. Yeah, he's 43. And it's a dead horse for me at this point. I don't think he'll ever completely win me over.
Yeah. Okay.
But, when you do a Kirk-centric episode, and this is the guy playing Kirk, is... and I watched like a chunk of a chunk of Beyond earlier today, and I'm just sitting there going like, yeah, Chris Pine kind of nailed it.
Oh, Chris Pine did such a great job. As much as I dislike those movies for some reasons, I think they're J.J. Abrams-ified. Those first two. I think the third one is better.
Because Simon Pegg wrote it.
Exactly. I think J.J. Abrams. Man, just he doesn't have vision. I think he's a great director. I think he's a bad writer, and I think that's like where I fall with J.J. Abrams. Finally, is like I think when he has other really good writers around him, like contributing, like in Lost, like I think things can come together well. And I think his directing stylings are really, really strong. But like so often, he makes the safest choices that don't challenge anything or strive for new ground. And that bothers me. He's just kind of remaking things that have been done. And that's what we do with Star Trek. That's what we went on to do with Star Wars. I don't know that he's not a visionary in my opinion.
I don't know. I don't know that I completely agree with that, but I see what you're saying. Like, I feel like branching off and doing an alternate reality was a big swing. I think destroying Vulcan was a big swing. I think there was some amount of vision there, and look, man, I'm not a big fan of Kurtzman. Orsi was a nice guy, and I think he had some good ideas. Damon Lindelof is a good writer.
Right.
And those were the guys that wrote the first two. But Simon Pegg, I think, made a better Star Trek movie in Beyond.
Yeah.
And, Justin Lin was the one who directed that one. Yeah, and I think it was a better movie than the first two, honestly.
Yeah. I really like the first one. I feel the same way about the first one of that I do the new Star Wars. It's just like, whatever that one's called. This is a Star Trek podcast. I don't have to know.
No, you don't. I don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever episode 7 is.
Force Awakens?
Force Awakens, yeah. Okay. He did the same thing. He was like, let's reboot it without rebooting it and just get everything to the same place and not blaze new trails. Now, he set up, I think, like, the destruction of Vulcan and like you mentioned, the destruction of Vulcan, the Narada in general, like, changing the timeline. It all felt like ways to be like, hey, it's a different timeline. You need to know it's a different timeline. That's what we're doing here. And I do like that idea, but they still just sort of, like, put everything in place to be the original series. And then with the second one, they went on to be like, look, it's the second movie again. It's Khan, and it just kind of, and we're going to mirror everything you loved about that movie. And then it wasn't until Peg that there were, and beyond that they were like, oh, we're going to like actually just tell you a new story, completely fresh new story.
Yeah, but the way Peg did it though, and Lynn, they set up a new story, but it also touched upon stuff from the past because it was very much the bad guy was a spoiler. If you haven't seen Star Trek Beyond, the bad guy was like a fucking captain from like the Enterprise era, from the Xindi Wars.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, that's great. That's awesome. I love that because it's an amazing twist. Because those of us who know what the Xindi Wars are like, oh, that's awesome. And if you don't, it's just like, oh, that's another war they were in at some point. It doesn't really matter. It's just like when you hear about the Klingon Wars or the Cardassian Wars or whatever. It's just like those are wars that happen that we don't need to see. Yeah,
he was a Mako, and he like wound up becoming a captain after that. And
that's right.
Like was not suited for fucking Starfleet life. Like he was a soldier.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That was dope, dude.
It was dope. And I really liked that movie. And it just felt like the kind of movie where I felt like we were exploring a new world. It felt like a strange new world.
By the way, did you remember Jayla from that movie, right?
Yeah.
Simon Pegg said that they were writing a spin-off movie for her where she was like a Starfleet Academy cadet, and she and a bunch of other troubled cadets are like basically turned into like a Suicide Squad type of situation.
Ooh.
And they are stationed on a planet that's in orbit of Wolf 359, and it's called Jayla and the Wolf, and they're part of a group called the Wolf Pack. Dude, shit sounded cool.
Yeah, that does sound cool.
And then it just died. The project died.
Simon Pegg and and Edgar Wright, his whole crew, the crew he came up with, just has such an authentic love for Star Trek, I think, and like that sort of stuff that they know. They know what Easter eggs to include and what callbacks to make and how to make them without turning off new audiences, and that I just really love that, and I think. Like, I feel like J.J. Abrams knows the most famous things about Star Trek and doesn't know the rest. You know what I mean? Like, he feels like he has a surface knowledge of Star Trek. That first movie feels like, hey, we're going to, make a space adventure and it's going to have, like, Star Trek spackled over it. But the freaking actors absolutely killed it. Like I said, he's a great director. He directed the hell out of all those actors. They are bringing it, and this, the whole reason we're talking about this is Pine. I agree with you. Pine is a better Kirk than Paul Wesley ever will be, and I hate to I can't ever imagine Paul Wesley capturing that glint in the eye that Pine somehow captured. It's really, really great.
Yeah, without overacting and being a Shatner clone as well.
Exactly. Like, I think Paul Wesley's trying to find it, but he's not. He's not there. He's not where Pine was. I'm digging it. I'm not in your shoes where I'm like hating on it a little bit, but it doesn't bother me. But it doesn't. I don't see it and go like, oh, there's that Kirk eye. There's that little look in his. It's just something about the way they shot it, the way he sits, the way it was just. I did think the way he sat in the chair for the first time was nice, like the little cross-legged lean thing. Yeah, it was nice to see him trying.
The reason I brought it up was to be like, hey man, it's not just that I'm going, no one will ever be Shatner, like, and nothing will ever be the original series. That is true to me, but also it's not that.
Yeah.
I'll take Ethan Peck over Zach Quinto if that makes anybody happy.
Ooh. I think I'm man, that's a tough one. I think I'm with you. On that.
Yeah.
I think I
do like
really
a
like
Q-centric story where they mix and match.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's call it the Q-niverse.
Yeah, so I really like this episode. It just felt, and I always say this when we have these kinds of episodes where there's like multiple starships kind of encountering something and they kind of have to work to time things correctly, and like just two starships sort of chasing each other and figuring out a way to stop the bad guys from doing what they're doing. I loved the plan of making them the bait. Like that it was a very Star Trek plan. Like, okay, what do we have at our disposal? And you think through it and you're like, okay, we can't catch them. We can't beat them in a fight, but you know what we can do? Just make them chase us so that we give our guys more time, you know? That was great. I really, really liked all of that.
By the way, the villains in this episode, they don't outright say it or anything, of course, but in a season 2 episode of TNG, Worf speaks of a legend about a giant black ship that ran around eating starships.
No, that makes sense. That's awesome.
So that was neat.
Yeah.
To have that little callback.
Yeah, I love it. And it makes sense that it would remain a legend after this. Because if the Federation found out a bunch of humans have been running around ransacking all these worlds, like they wouldn't really want that getting out. So I imagine this was probably covered up. The fact that they were humans is probably covered up anyway.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I like the conspiracy element.
I saw some people on Twitter being like, or not Twitter, Threads being like, man, I thought it was going to be the Borg. I'm like, why do y'all think everything is the fucking Borg?
Every week. It's really funny. There was a moment where they say something about like how they take their technology and incorporate it into their own that I was like, oh, that's kind of Borg-ish. But like I never thought it was the Borg. I just like was like, that's kind of a Borg-like action.
Yeah.
That's really, really funny. Oh man. I really, you know what? One thing about this episode that I think was weak, I think this episode the directing was kind of weak. There were a couple moments where, particularly I don't know what it was, the moment where I do know what it was. I know exactly what it was. The moment where they blow up the Astrovore.
Uh-huh.
And they celebrate on the bridge of the Farragut.
Uh-huh.
They time it so poorly. Like whoever's directing this episode, it like blows up and there's like a 2-second pause before you see Scotty like shooting his arms in the air. Like if you are a competent director, like you know how to time that so it just feels exciting. And instead it cuts back to them and it looks like we have seen the Astrovore blow up at this point, and it cuts back to the bridge crew and they wait a second and then they go, yay. And it's like, wait, no, like for this to be emotionally paying off, like all this has to happen kind of simultaneously. And it's a challenge because the thing that makes it a challenge is often in editing. And I guess I mean editing more than directing. Directing's wrong. I mean editing. Sometimes they work in conjunction. But when you're editing 2 shots together, you often have to cut a portion of it you like to make the timing of the entire piece work. You know what I mean? Because you want that explosion to happen and your crew to celebrate at the exact same time. So that means you can't show the lead up to the celebration if you want to show the full tracking shot of the torpedoes. You have to cut to them already celebrating because it has to feel like it's all happening at the same time. They didn't do that in this episode, and it really took me out of it. It's a very small moment, and it's really, but I was just like, oh wow, that was edited terribly. It would have, because it would have felt really nice and cathartic for that to happen. And then it falls really flat in that moment.
Yes. Now, I don't know, maybe they said it in some technobabble patch, but I was personally taken out of it. I get what you're saying, and I did feel like something was off, but I was also focused on the fact that I did not believe that a ship that size with that much armament would get blowed up by like a couple of photon torpedoes, even shot into its mouth.
It's not into the mouth. It's that they aimed at a ship. I think it was the D7 cruiser, because they realized there was some way they could overload the D7 and make it explode and basically use the D7 as a bomb inside. They like somehow destroyed, but they didn't do a good job of explaining this, but I'm pretty sure that's what we're supposed to have thought. I think they mentioned it at some point. They mentioned the D7. They talk about it. You see it go inside the mouth, but it doesn't. I may be giving it more credit than it's worth, honestly. Yeah. But that's what I took from that moment, is that they weren't aiming at the thing itself. They were aiming at a ship they had like triangulated inside, that they had already like scanned and knew that they could like cause mass damage by making that ship's, who knows, making their warp and the cells blow or something.
So yeah, even if that was the case, I feel like this ship, I mean, this has been running around for like a century or so, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'm kind of going like, they're taking fire, they're absorbing the energy. I can't imagine that all those Klingon ships we saw in there didn't try to blow themselves up to take them out. And that wasn't addressed at some point.
It's a good point. That is a good point. I think there's, we see a lot of the crew of the Farragut die or like get massively injured by the weapons. So, but the whole thing is just kind of like, so they injure the Farragut so bad they don't want it anymore. So they take the Enterprise. So is their game that they like injure one ship to draw another ship in to swallow it whole before it's injured? Is that their game? Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, you'd think they'd just want to swallow a ship. If they're so impervious to its damage, you'd think they just want to swallow a ship whole right off the bat,
Yeah.
So that was weird. It's really, really another... I really do like this episode. There's a lot of things I like about it, but there are a number of things that are really stupid. And one of them being, so the Farragut is empty. And that's because they lost so many crewmen. So you've got just you only ever see the bridge crew. Although you probably still should have like 30% of the crew left. Like, they didn't kill or transport away everybody. They just killed or transported away the injured people. But it makes sense that there's a reduced crew size on the Farragut. The Enterprise should have a full complement, including like 30 or 60% of the Farragut's population. It should have felt overstuffed. And every time it cuts back to those freaking guys, the Borg, let's call them the Borg, walking around in the bowels of the ship, the only people doing anything are the bridge crew. And that really annoyed me, because I'm like, the captain is going to run down to like do some bomb diffusal stuff.
Yeah.
There's got to be someone on the ship that's more qualified than that. There have got to be someone who's you're more willing to risk than the captain to do that. Instead, it's only the bridge officers doing anything. And then they're literally like wiring up the ship for like running wires around the ship. That is an ensign's job. That is 100% an ensign's job. You do not send your bridge crew running around the ship with telephone wire. That's insane. You do not send 4 bridge crew members into her bedroom to retrieve the technology. You send her with a group of ensigns to do the whole thing. She is like the chief engineer. Like, she does not need she's not like, I think Mbinga was in there, and it's like,
oh, he was. And he like looked around, he was like, yeah, this looks exactly how I imagined it. Like, and it was totally like a slam. I loved that part of it, but I hate her.
I like that part of it too. But you have probably the most people in your sick bay you have ever had.
Yep.
And you are in her quarters making fun of her decor while there are more people injured from the Farragut than maybe you've ever had. Like, what are you doing? So like, I liked the Farragut stuff. The Enterprise stuff drove me a little batty, because it felt like, part of the reason maybe people felt like the Borg, the ship felt like First Contact, when like almost no one's on the ship and it's just like a few people left and everyone else has already been Borgified, and it's like Picard's running through the bowels of the ship and you only ever see him. That is what it felt like, because it was just the two of them. It was like, was it La'an and Pike that were defusing the bomb, defusing the little arm thing, the little... there should have been more people there. There just should have been like, even when they're like, hey, okay, I need someone to go over to this panel. And it's always a bridge crew member running across the ship to some panel. And it's like, you have ensigns, you have people to do this stuff. This is really weird that the ship is so empty when you just took on like a whole nother crew.
Yep.
Okay, I've said enough about it. It is clear that they were just like being budget conscious, or whoever was writing this was like, well, we have an empty ship, and they forgot what ship they were writing or something, because it's like they should have had tons of people around.
Look, that's a time-honored tradition in Star Trek, is to just kind of move around the sets and act like, oh, we've got 2 different ships. I had such a fucking hard time keeping up with which ship we were on.
I agree. I think it was as much as I actually enjoyed some of the Enterprise stuff in this episode, I think they should have left the Enterprise out of this episode. The Enterprise should have been being like consumed by this Astrovore, and like the Farragut should have been what we're focused on, and we just like focus on that, and then when you finally free them, it should have been like a victory for the Farragut, not like this dual victory that had to be timed perfectly, you know?
Yep. On the topic of Pelia, like, I don't understand why this episode they made sure to, like, every time she's on screen, she mentions something about how old she is. Like,
yeah,
it was just,
that's her shtick,
everybody
man.
on the ship knows how the fuck old you are. Okay, like everybody watching the show. This is a streamer with 10 episodes a season. Anybody watching knows how old you are.
Yeah. Speaking of Pelia and the phone gambit, the old phone gambit. Why the hell did Erica, when she picks up the phone, having never seen and having just been explained what a telephone was, she picked it up and went, hello?
Yes, she does that, and then like the next time she has to use it, she keeps like looking at it wonky, like, how do I use this?
The hello drove me nuts, because even in our world, hello was not originally like they wanted to use ahoy, I think, or was it ahoy? I don't know. So there's something that the inventor of the telephone wanted to use. I'm forgetting now. But like it was like he wanted to go ahoy, but no, like hello is just was not what people like had to say, and it definitely isn't what a Starfleet officer would say the first time they're like, it's Ortega's, is anyone there? So, you know, whatever, like hello is what we say in our world, and it just really annoyed me.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's probably enough classic films, you know, everyone in Star Trek, and this has been another time-honored tradition of Star Trek, everyone in Star Trek is obsessed with our shit.
Well, sure, that's true, but she just got finished saying she didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So like either she is someone who's watched enough old movies to know what a telephone is, and that could have been a thing, like, oh, this is one of those things that's in the movies, I remember these, or like whatever.
Yeah.
Or like or she doesn't know how to say hello. One of those two things. You can't have both.
Yeah, you cannot have both, and they totally had both.
Yeah.
After she does that, then she looks at it again like, whoa, how do I use it? Oh, God. Which is, by the way, one of my issues with her anyway, is that she overacts. Like, they just, she's such a comedy bit. By the way, thanks for getting your fucking trauma for an entire episode. Like, there's no reflections in the star, in the window with a Gorn over her shoulder going, which, you know, I maybe some people's trauma works like that. So maybe like, I don't know, one day I'll like look in the mirror and my dad will be over my shoulder going, rah, 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 rah.
I mean, you know, people that have trauma still have moments of levity. Like, that's possible, but it's just it's an episode that doesn't focus on her, so like, I'm not too upset about that. But yeah, it does feel like that was just forgot about for sure. I mean, it clearly was. Yeah. I really like the line when he says, "You want to take a few steps back," and Han is like, "If this blows up, it's going to take out the whole deck," and he's like, "Big step then."
Yeah, that was fun.
It's cute.
Ooh, you know what I kind of wanted was when the brief minute where Lon shows up over on the Farragut. She and Kirk had previously had sort of a little thing going on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And now she's got a thing going on with Spock. I thought that would have been interesting for him to be like, "Hey, Lon," or whatever, and like maybe put a hand on her shoulder or something. See Spock kind of like tense up, and he's like, "Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well."
Yeah. That would have been nice. That would have been nice. But to be perfectly honest, I'd kind of forgotten that they had a thing, so... Well,
it was a weird thing for them to build up, for them to like
not
deviate
use
from so quickly.
Yeah. I liked a few Kirk things. I liked Kirk being such an asshole and so prideful after he initially gets the ship working, after they tell him no, it's going to blow the engines, and he's like, just do it. And they're like, okay, Captain. He's like, I'll be accepting drinks when this is all over. And he sits in the chair all prideful, and then the engines blow. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I did like that.
I also really liked when Spock he's telling Spock, like, something about how he just doesn't know if he should be here. Like, he's not sure if this is his. He's like, but Spock assures him that this should be his chair. Like, he's the rightful commander of the vessel and all that stuff. And he's like, but I promise to demote you at my earliest opportunity or whatever.
Yes,
it just felt very Quinto Spock, actually.
It did feel Quinto Spock.
Yeah.
I laughed because I saw a lot of people online saying, like, this feels like it's a backdoor pilot. And they were serious, I think. And I was like, yeah, called the original series.
Yeah, it's a backdoor pilot to the original. I mean, we have heard that is something they're considering, is making a show where they continue on into the first few years of their so, like, it is a backdoor pilot in that way. But this whole show is a backdoor pilot in that way.
Like, they're pitching Star Trek Year 1 to Paramount and trying to get the fans behind it, which would be like the year, the year in the original series we don't get, or whatever we didn't get.
Right.
I
mean, they've already got the actors, they've already got the sets. Like, sure, just do it. Like, I don't mind if they're going to end Strange New Worlds in season 5, and then they like go on for one more season that's sort of like an epic season of Star Trek Year 1. Like, that'd be cool. Mm-hmm. They won't cost much. They've already got everybody and everything they need. They need to cast a good Bones, and then you're good.
Yeah, they don't even really have to cast a good Bones, because he wasn't even on the show until, or he wasn't in the Where No Man Has Gone Before.
Oh, okay.
They would need to cast Gary Mitchell.
Okay.
But yeah, dude, like, I don't know what David Ellison is going to do. Like, it certainly makes sense for them to want to keep those sets around. But at the same time, like, we've got Terry Matalas, who as of last week said they haven't pitched Legacy yet, but
why have you not pitched Legacy yet? Why did you not pitch Legacy in the middle of filming Picard season 3? Like, what is going on? He actually
did say it was because he didn't want to be, like, trying to get his foot in the door, like, when because they just got in last week. Like, the merger became finalized like 2 weeks ago, and they were all like moving offices and figuring out what they want to do. And he's also working on
Vision Quest. Yeah, baby.
But he did say he is able to work on anything he wants to.
Dude,
so, like,
I'm so excited for Vision Quest, because, like, it's not. Have you seen WandaVision? You've seen WandaVision, right?
Yeah.
Slight spoiler alerts for WandaVision, but the final conversation that the character that we're going to be following up with in Vision Quest, of Vision, is so Star Trek to me. It's such a great Star Trek conversation, the Ship of Theseus conversation, and I just, like, really want the guy, like that character feels like right in the hands of a Star Trek director, and so Terry Matalas taking over that sounds awesome.
I had told you, like, we had a bunch of news. Most of the news was basically just going over all the different Star Trek pitches. Like, Matalas hasn't been in there to actually pitch Legacy, but he is, like, telling fans to do, like, join some writing campaign to let them know we want it. There's also the comedy series from Tawny Newsome. Aaron Watke, who worked on Prodigy, he's got a pitch going. Like, it's just like everybody's, like, now bringing up all these pitches that they have for Star Trek series.
Yeah, it's that time of new leadership. Like, what are we gonna do? I really think Legacy is the right move.
I do too. Ellison, though, said that they want to approach Star Trek holistically. It's not just going to be like a division between TV and movies.
Good.
So I'm just really interested to see what they do. He did say it was a priority. So that doesn't sound like we're shuttering the franchise.
Yeah. Well, shuttering it would be dumb.
Yeah.
I could see paring it down and being like, well, okay, these TV shows have not been financially viable. Like, we need to switch to doing movies again or whatever. Like, and we get like a Star Trek movie every 3 years for a while, and that could be interesting and fun, but it will be, it'll feel like a drought after this like deluge we've had for the last few years.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see what he'll do.
Oh, me too, man. Me too. Man, speaking of creators making content I'm excited about, we're covering it on Always Watching, so, this, I guess, is a plug for that. But, man, Alien Earth, Noah Hawley doing Alien Earth.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so jealous. Because, they were going to do the Noah Hawley Star Trek a few years ago.
Yeah.
And him taking the reins of a beloved sci-fi property that they have of an alien and like building a series out of it is making me so jealous. I'm loving it. But for Star Trek, I said this on our episode of Always Watching. I was like, I cannot believe that Star Trek didn't let this guy do his thing. Like, I'm so mad about it. I'm so freaking mad about it. The first 2 episodes that dropped last week, amazing. I went through and watched all of the Alien movies in preparation and really enjoyed the catch up. And like, I hadn't seen the prequel series yet. And it was great. I loved it. The kind of trilogy of prequel movies that they made these last few years. It was great. And now getting this series is just so much fun. And it's just already so deeply character driven after just, 2 episodes, and it's everything I would expect from the guy who made Fargo, but also the effects look as good as any Alien movie have looked. Like some of the like xenomorph running around killing people looks better than it has in most of the Alien movies. I am really, really impressed. Like, they're obviously doing some practical, but there's some things there's no way it's practical, and I can't tell a difference between the CGI and the practical. Like, when it transitions from CGI and it gets up close to the face and you can tell it switches to a puppet somehow, like, I can't tell where that transition happens. And I've been and some of it is like making really good directorial choices, like soft focus, having something in the background, just doing things just right to where it feels moody. But they've done some like really big effects moments, and I am blown away by on a TV budget doing what they're doing. Like, it is so good. And Fargo and Severance right now are like tied for my favorite series probably. But Fargo season 5 is maybe my favorite thing I've ever seen. I love Fargo season 5.
I haven't watched Fargo. I want to. It's on my list. I was mad that they let Noah Hawley slip because of Legion.
Right. Yeah.
Which, oh my God, just fucking...
I feel really terrible. I've still not watched all of Legion. I keep starting it. I have watched the first half of the first season like 5 times, and it's one of those that's so good that I keep wanting to like give it its space and watch it when I feel like I can really focus on it. But that's so rare these days with my family shit going on. If I'm not podcasting about something, like having time to like fully sit and watch. And so it has been really hard for me to finish that series, but I need to just do it. I need to just make it a priority for me. Maybe I'll do that these coming weeks.
Yeah. His sensibilities in making something look timeless.
Yes.
But also very retro.
Yes.
I really wanted to see him do a take on Star Trek.
I brought you up on our take talking about Alien because, it's the Alien universe. Toggle switches and big buttons and all that stuff. It's like old-timey 80s tube screens everywhere. And like Alien Earth has the ability to be like, okay, that's on the spaceships. So we have a little bit of technology, better technology, kind of like they talked about in Star Trek a few weeks ago, the holodeck. We can't really afford to do that on the ships yet, but we can afford to do better on a planet where we have better power sources. But like, so they do a little bit of technology differences depending on where they are, but it's still, they keep that retro feel with all the ships and stuff. And it just feels like Alien from 1979. Like, it feels the same, and it's cool, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you need to watch it. It's really good.
Dude, I've been so into like, I've wanted to like go back and watch, because I'm a completist. I want to go back and like rewatch the Alien stuff, rewatch all the Predator stuff. I know they're not like together anymore, but they're still like sort of tangentially connected. But since Prey on the Predator stuff, I've wanted to watch Prey, and I want to watch that animated thing they did, and
Killer
I
of
watch
Killers, yeah,
new one.
Killer of Killers. I'm hearing nothing but good things, and I'm not a big animation guy. But I hear Killer of Killers is just great. Like, we just did Eyes of Wakanda, and people kept writing, or a couple people wrote in on our podcast being like, Eyes of Wakanda was good, but like after seeing Killer of Killers, like I'm really spoiled. Like, this was just not on par with what they did. I was like, oh man.
But dude, like freaking, yeah. I've wanted to get back into some alien stuff, and the Noah Hawley was the big draw for me on that.
Me too, 100%. And man, I don't know if you've caught it. Like, we know that the Alien and Predator universe are the same. They've done 2 crossover movies. In the new trailer for the new Predator movie, which I'm not thinking of the name, Predator Bad. Oh, gosh, what's it called? New Predator movie.
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about.
Did you catch it's a Wayland Yutani synthetic?
Yeah.
In the oh gosh, I love that so much.
Yeah.
Badlands. I thought it was Badlands. Yeah, Predator Badlands, and there's just straight up a Wayland Yutani. So it's not like, I love it because it's not a xenomorph, but it's just like, hey, it's all the same universe, baby. Like, it all mixes together. Even now, when we're not doing Predator versus Alien, we're still going to bring the properties together and kind of synchronize them. Just super cool.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. But I have been deeply jealous and deeply sick that Paramount let Noah Hawley slip.
I cannot believe that Alien, no offense to the franchise, I love it. It is way elevated above what it should be. But it is a schlocky 80s horror in a lot of ways. I'll take that back. It's not schlocky. It is an 80s horror movie with such there's such a thin storyline there. In the first couple of Aliens, it's just alien chest bursters.
Yeah.
Run for your life. That the whole series can be. The prequel trilogy is a little more interesting philosophically, but like mostly it's just a run for your life story. I cannot believe that series is getting a show that I am more excited for than anything Star Trek has done. I'm more excited for Alien Earth than I was for Star Trek Picard after season 1. I was really excited for Star Trek Picard when it was announced. Season 1 was good, but not great. And then season 2 I thought was worse. Season 3 was good, really great, but I think I'm more excited for Alien Earth than I have been for Star Trek in a long time. And that's really, really sad. But it's just because of the creative team they have behind it. It is a bold and interesting creative team that I think we're going to make great choices.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah. So Star Trek, go back, let Noah Hawley do what he wanted to do, whatever it was. Even if it's no longer possible within this canon, scrap the last few years and just let Noah Hawley do it anyway.
Popping back to this episode, though, it is funny.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see it in the episode, but I noticed it. Like, people were putting it all over the internet. I laughed when I saw the freaking TARDIS, because like the whole time I was seeing the scavengers in those giant suits clunking around. I kept thinking, like, oh, here are the Jadoon again.
Oh man, I think I
remember the giant rhinos from Doctor Who.
Yes,
the Jadoon.
Yes, I was gonna say, like, I remember the look of what you're talking about, but I couldn't remember their name. And I was thinking of those giant creatures from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh,
like those guys. It reminded me of those guys a lot.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right. Well, I feel like we have we good episode. Had its issues, but it's still another week where I enjoyed Star Trek and wasn't like mad at it.
I wasn't mad at it. I was just kind of bored.
Yeah,
honestly,
I see that, man.
We got a couple of bits of feedback. If you'd like to talk,
let's hear it.
Andre Sparks says, "Wow, episode 6 was definitely the best episode. Since episode 5, I think we are propelled into greatness for the rest of the season."
I hope so.
Andre, that would be great, but I know that Vulcan episode is coming up. That Vulcan episode is haunting me.
Yeah, me too.
Andre.
Me too.
It's just creeping upon me. Like, Stu Little writes in, everybody's kirking for the weekend. What the fuck, man? The Sehlat who ate his tail. If Kirk's so bored, maybe he should spend some time working on his co-parenting skills for his upcoming child. Oh, look, man. We know from Star Trek II, Carol said she didn't want him gallivanting around the cosmos with his father.
Mm.
And if he has any contact with Kirk, that means that he's going to want to go. Kirk is so charismatic.
It's true.
This Kirk will make you want to buy a condo.
Or at least, a timeshare for one.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Condo? It's too much.
Still Dunphy looking ass. Anyway, the captain may have only been a Vulcan and therefore required only the mildest of prosthetics, but rules are rules, and she needed to be incapacitated as soon as possible.
But rules are rules.
If you don't know who famous Scottish inventor John Logie Baird is, you should. He invented the television, and therefore Star Trek wouldn't even exist without him, you ungrateful fucks. Yeah, I didn't know. I had to go back and, we had to put on the captions to see what Scotty was saying. This Scotty's too Scottish.
Give me back my American Scottish people.
I need American Scotty. A species that scavenges tech from other vessels. Is this a Apocalypse story? Dude.
Oh, that's
at least
fun.
Better than Borg.
Yeah, that is definitely closer. It's like this explosion gave them all brain damage.
No, they didn't kill him. They just turned him into the Apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. I love Scotty's increasing belligerence throughout. Well, that could have gone better. Nah, how? I don't know what he's talking about. Sorry, Stu. The dog who caught the car. Wait a minute. Was Kirk's mother trying to quote Heath Ledger's Jokers? Do I look like I have a planned speech? I think that was around before Heath Ledger.
Nope. I think Stu's right. It's just from the Dark Knight. only place anyone's ever said the dog who got the car.
Yeah. They're human is not a shocking twist at this point. It's not. Do better. You could have at least made the ship's flag something else. Danish, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that, that was very much a pointed, aim, a shot at America. 100% a shot at America.
Also, by the way, yeah, appropriating everyone else's shit.
What?
Americans appropriating other
yeah. Sure. But I do think it could have been nice if it had been like they were talking about how it's the best of them, I kind of think it should have had a bunch of flags on there. You know what I mean? It was an international community came together to do this thing, That probably would have made more sense.
It had an American flag, but then there was the little arrow, and it had the UN symbol in the middle of it.
The UN symbol? Okay. I thought, honestly, I didn't pause or anything. That looked like a Starfleet symbol to me, and I was like, what?
It was the United Earth symbol.
Okay, gotcha.
It was a ship that predated Starfleet and the Federation. It predates. It was the XCV 100, I think it was, which the XCV 300 was the first Enterprise.
Okay.
The ring ship,
Okay. Yeah.
If you know what that is, it's around.
Okay.
It's my obscure Star Trek ship knowledge comes in handy every once in a while. Let's see, where are we at? At this point, the deal with Lanthanites like Pelia kind of calls for more explanation, because we're being told now she was on the planet for that long with apparently other members of their species and couldn't get off it themselves. How did they get there in the first place? I thought that they explained some of this.
They go back and see her in an episode, but I don't know how much it's explained.
Yeah, I just kind of don't care. I'm annoyed that Holly Hunter's character is half Lanthanite in Starfleet Academy, Because I'm like, great. Now she's just going to be walking around going like, yeah, when I was around with the dead, I was hanging out with my buddy Pelia.
Yeah.
Fuck.
100%. That is 100% going to happen.
We still stay in touch, you know. She's over here drinking Granny's peach tea. Fuck.
That is her granny.
Yeah, don't say that, man. Oh my god. Stu says, well, that was good, if let down by a few points. I didn't personally need a Kirk captaincy origin story, but I think it was done well enough. The unknown antagonist was suitably foreboding enough and enigmatic, even if the human reveal was a letdown for me. Though there's still a mystery around how they got to be like that and why they kept themselves from actually reaching out to other sentient species. America. Also, I gotta figure...
America.
I gotta figure that the huge casualties must have included kids, right? So, ouch.
Yeah. No. It's definitely like a big like generation ship. And so, yeah, that was definitely a lot of people dead. I mean, they were going... Their culture was going around consuming other cultures like in mass and destroying worlds. Like, and it was literally that 7,000 people or the... What was it, 100 million people on the planet they were heading towards? So, like, Kirk does not need to feel bad. It was the right call. But, like, I think that the point is that he didn't even consider this could be a possible, like, group that he could communicate with or challenge in some other way. And I think that is a big point of this episode and to this origin story of his captaincy. I like that a lot. I like that he made a decision that, like, it's right. There's, by the numbers, needs of the many, and, like, if someone tries to kill you, you try to kill them right back. All these classic sci-fi tropes, but, like, it's not. It's the fact that he didn't even consider these people could be human or that they could be communicated with, or that he might try diplomacy of some sort. He just had to go for the kill.
Mm-hmm. Which, if you're looking in the mouth of this thing and you see all these other ships, you got to imagine somebody tried to talk to these people.
Yeah, no, probably. I mean, it's like I said, he probably made the right call. Like, I don't think he made a wrong call, but at least, but he the fact that he didn't consider it is going to haunt him, and that's what makes him Kirk, man. The fact that there might have been another way other than violence is important to him.
Stu continues, the ensemble was good, and having everyone being unsure about Kirk's suitability for the situation was interesting. Also, please keep in mind they totally avoided resuming any of the old Kirk-La'an romantic tension. That's symbolics we didn't need for this. See, that's what I wanted. 2 relatively serious eps in a row is appreciated too.
Yeah.
Thanks, Stu.
I agree. Thanks, Stu. I completely agree. I think this has been 2 just like very Star Trek episodes. I say this all the time on episodes like this, but just an episode where they're like chasing down ships or whatever. It just reminds me of the books I read as a kid and like thinking about all the ways that I really love thinking about the galaxy and thinking about these different ships and how they're all trying to triangulate to do the right thing. And when there's trouble communicating, how they have to think about different ways of tackling a situation. I really enjoy that part of Star Trek, the sort of finding a solution together sort of thing. So, this one did it for me. I liked it.
All right. You know what they needed? They needed a scene where Kirk and Spock have to talk about La'an for just a second. Maybe Kirk intimates that he knows something about her, and Spock is like, how do you know that? And he's like, she talks in her sleep. So then we have 2 Indiana Jones references.
Wait, what's the other Indiana Jones reference?
The archaeologist who didn't want to step out on the invisible bridge.
Oh, from last week. I gotcha. I was thinking this episode. Right. You're right. Yeah. That would have been nice. She talks in her sleep. What a great movie. The 3rd Indiana Jones movie is so good.
Oh, yeah. That's the best one by far.
Oh, for sure.
Like, everybody just staring at Indy, and he's like, he didn't have a ticket.
Yeah. And just
just throwing a Nazi out of a window.
Sean Connery as his dad is so inspired and so, like, timely. It's just, he's Sean Connery still at the height of his powers, but old, like old enough to be Indy's dad. And it's just really great. It's just such a good movie.
Yeah. My favorite one.
Mine too.
For sure.
Mine too. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for us. We'll be back soon with more Star Trek. In a couple days, hopefully. I won't have a gig this weekend, so I should be able to get in the chair a little sooner.
Yeah.
Joel on True.
Live long and prosper.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.